The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Good morning. It's beginning of day 4. We're back on the track. We've just left Bizkarreta, where we stayed last night. Nice accommodation, private room, private ensuite, shared kitchen, lounge area, but very comfortable. A lot warmer than what we had the night before. We're on a bush trail, I think, for the whole of today, which is great. Most of the trail we've been on so far has been a bush or forest trail. There's only been small parts early on where we had a little bit of road walking. Yesterday we had some issues with the sound, just trying to record with so much wind around. Made sections or segments 2, 3 and 4. We couldn't really hear that, so we didn't publish those, but we stayed in Bizkarreta last night. The plan was to walk to La Serona today, and that would have been about 16 kilometres. Previous couple of days we've been more 12, 13 kilometres, but we haven't been able to get private accommodation in La Serona. So we've made the decision to walk to Zubiri, where we have got private accommodation. You know, we still haven't ruled out doing other albergue dormitory stays, but we're definitely leaving that as the last resort option. And it's fine, depending on what type of Camino you're trying to have. But for us, we'll try and have pension or casa accommodation. Now, the original plan was for us to be using the porter service. So what that is companies that take your bag from one town to the next town, or one accommodation to the next accommodation, allowing you just to carry a day pack, and then just they take some of the heavier items that you might have in your backpack. It's not like where you bring a suite of suitcases. It just means you can take a few heavy things out of your backpack, send it forward, and they should only be a few euro each, maybe €5 to €10. We bought a duffel bag, which, is weight as well. But the plan was to put a few things from each of our 3 bags in the duffel bag, send that forward. And so we were walking each day with a lighter pack, but not everything is up and running yet for the season. Some of the accommodations are closed, and the porter services haven't been operating. So when we've contacted them, they've been, yeah, we can do it, but it's going to cost you. And it should, like I said, be between €5 to €10 a stage, but they wanted €30. So we've actually been carrying all of the weight on our back. And that's one of the things, I suppose, before you come away is you watch a lot of YouTube videos, and you're fairly aware that keeping the weight down is key. So it's what do I put in my pack and what don't I put in my pack? How many sets of clothes and things? But there's some things you can't get away from. You need wet weather gear. Last time that Cheryl and I walked 5 days of the Camino, probably 3 of the 5 days, that was from Sarria to Santiago, were wet, cold, and the wet weather gear that we had bought, which we were fairly unaware of at the time, must have had a very, very low waterproof rating, maybe 1,000 or something, whatever the measurement is that measures waterproofing. And so we would have been better off just wearing a garbage bag over our heads. But this time we've got much higher rated waterproofing gear, pants and a jacket. We haven't gone the poncho option, pants and a jacket. So there's a little bit of weight there. So we've got to have that. Obviously, walking at the end of winter and being from the tropics, we need some warm gear. So that carries weight. And, we're going with the option of wear one, wash one in terms of sets of clothes. So 2 sets of socks, 2 sets of pants, 2 sets of shirts, etc. Wear one, wash one. And then there's other things. We've got our shoes, and we've also brought a pair of sandals each, just so we can put something else on at the end of the day, allow our feet to breathe, but just something different from wearing your shoes, which may need the opportunity to air out or dry out depending on the day. So we've done first 4 days. We'll end up doing 12, 13 kilometres each day. Today's a bit shorter, so instead of going to La Serona, we'll be going to Zubiri, which is about 10 kilometres. But the great news is that from tomorrow, we've been able to pick up, from tomorrow, from Zubiri to Zubiri to Pamplona, we've been able to pick up a porter service just as we cross the road. The path goes across the road here. You might have heard that car in the background, me telling Chan to stop at the road. So we've picked up the porter service. So 4 days of relatively short trails, but tomorrow it certainly picks up. To go from Zubiri to Pamplona is about 20k, so the porter service couldn't have come at a better time. Then we'll have a rest day at this stage is the plan in Pamplona, and then we'll continue to the next town. So the plan was shorter days at the beginning, get used to the packs on our back, get used to walking the trail each day, and then start picking the kilometres up. So that all starts for us tomorrow, longer trails. Body's holding up good. It's remarkable how much the body restores itself. Good night's sleep, plenty of water, some good food. Yesterday I had the first issue with my feet, nothing major, just my pinky toe manages to cut back in on the toe that sits next to it with its nail and just rubs along there, a little bit of a hot spot, a little bit of a cut there, but applied a bit of Compeed. It's like a second skin to the affected area, and that sorted that out. Just at the start of this walk, ran into someone who had started in Roncesvalles this morning, so he's racking up the kilometres today. We've met a number of people on the path so far, as you would expect. It's obviously not peak season, but there's still numbers around. Not walking with people each day, but you come across some people. We've had some people obviously from France and Spain, Italy, Norway, Denmark, Wales, United States, Brazil. I've come across another Australian, Russia, so South Korea. Yeah, it's a popular thing, the Camino from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port through to Santiago, enjoyed by many people around the world. I mentioned yesterday that we're a bit short of cash heading into our next town, but we're able to resolve that one easily. There's not a lot of ATMs around, but we did find one yesterday that had some power on and working, so that was good. Just need to carry a bit more cash than we thought we would. When you're booking through some of the booking websites, charges to your card, and there's no need to exchange money at the accommodation, but there are some places, whether it be cafes or accommodations, that are only dealing in cash. So there is still a need here to carry some cash. Food's been good. Mentioned food a number of times. Been enjoying the food here. And bread, a bit like Oprah Winfrey here. I love bread, but I'm not used to eating this quantity of bread, the baguettes. It seems to be featuring in most meals. So yesterday, because we had our own kitchen to prepare things in, my son and I did what we usually do, is bought a big packet of cereal, a litre of milk, and had cereal for dinner, then backed it up with cereal for breakfast. It was something that we've both been missing and craving from home. Just like a piece of toast with butter and Vegemite would be nice about now as well, but we're not going to get our hands on those. But the ham's been good. It's very salty. It is nice. The fish has been great. The bread's fantastic. Really, up there with some of the best bread that I've eaten. France, Spain, Senegal, Vietnam, anywhere that has fantastic bread. I just tend to enjoy it. We'll see what today brings in the culinary menu. We're making good time today, about 5 kilometres away from Zubiri. As I said, it's not a big day. Been really fortunate with the weather. No wind today. That's made a huge difference. That wind, that icy cold wind, just just cuts through the body. But we don't have that today. There's even been times where I've taken my jacket off and have just had my Australian Kangaroos rugby league jersey on representing over here. But yeah, the weather's been good, no wet weather. I suppose we've been really lucky there, touch wood, because we've come across some fairly large rain puddles on the track today, but we seem to have dodged it so far. Let's hope that can continue. You follow the path, or the way the path works is you follow these yellow spray-painted arrows, or these little blue signs that have the Camino scallop shell with a little yellow arrow on them. And arrow just links up with arrow, and they're reasonably placed. You know, you do walk sometimes and think, oh, am I going the right way? Oh, there's another arrow. And that's the way it works. But there's these other markings I'm seeing on trees, painted, white stripe and a red stripe, a horizontal white stripe at the top, red stripe at the bottom. I don't know what it means. And a few of them we've seen is actually white stripe up the top and green stripe down the bottom. I'm not too sure if it's to do with the Camino, the forestry, a north-south thing. No ideas. If you're listening, and it's the 3rd of March today, so if you're listening and it's around about that time, message me on WCBH, Facebook or Instagram, and I can respond to it in the next couple of days as I record. And that really goes for any matter. If you've got a question or a comment, or you've got some information, or if I'm saying something wrong, or totally got something around the wrong way, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram at WCBH, and I'll respond to it in the next couple of days whilst recording. Well, that's the end of day 4. We're in Zubiri now at our accommodation. Beautiful house. The descent into Zubiri is one of the more difficult sections of the Camino. There's often jagged rocks, a lot of loose underfoot areas, something that you need your sticks for, and you've got to watch your knees, etc. as you come down. It's really a steep decline down into Zubiri, but we got a bit lucky there. It looks like they've done some maintenance in the off season and graded and laid some new stones and pushed the dirt over. So the path is good. It's still very steep. You still need your sticks, but it wasn't like some of the images that we've seen posted or when we watched some of the clips on YouTube. So fortunate there. It's good that there is maintenance done on the road, but I must say it is also very nice walking the trail without an overkill of safety signs, safety barriers, parts closed because there's an element of risk, etc. It still has that feel to it that you do need to be careful and make good decisions, etc. It hasn't been over-sanitized. So we're in Zubiri. We'll have one night here tomorrow. We're excited because we've got just our day packs on. We're going to be sending forward most of our backpack with the courier company to Pamplona. It's going to be our biggest day in terms of distance so far. Day 5 we'll be walking 20 k's into Pamplona. Then we'll have our first rest day, which we're also looking forward to, and exploring Pamplona. Running of the Bulls, not on at the moment. Yeah, if it was on, would I run? Oh, I don't know. 20 years younger, I probably would have, but probably not these days. But yeah, really looking forward to getting into Pamplona tomorrow.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.